بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. This is now the third chapter in the book of Riyadh us-Saliheen by Imam An-Nawawi, and this is the chapter of patience and perseverance. باب الصبر. وعن أبي سعد بن مالك ابن سناني الخدري رضي الله عنهما أن ناسا من الأنصار سألوا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فأعطاهم ثم سألوه فأعطاهم حتى نفد ما عنده فقال لهم حين أنفق كل شيء بيده ما يكن عندي من خير فلم أدخره عنكم ومن يستعفف يعفه الله ومن يستغني يغنه الله ومن يتصبر يسبره الله وما أعطي أحد عطاء خيرا وأوسع من الصبر متفق عليه. وعن أبي يحيى صهيب رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عجبا لأمر المؤمن إن أمره كله له خير وليس ذلك لأحد إلا للمؤمن إن أصابته سراء شكر فكان خيرا له وإن أصابته ضراء صبر فكان خيرا له. رواه Muslim. Abu Sa'id Al-Khudri radiyallahu anhu reported that certain people from the Ansar asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he gave them. Then they again asked him and he gave them until all what he possessed was exhausted. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, whatever wealth I have, I will not withhold it from you. Whosoever would be chaste and modest, Allah will keep him chaste and modest. And whosoever would seek self-sufficiency, Allah will make him self-sufficient. And whosoever would be patient, Allah will give him patience. And no one is granted a gift better and more comprehensive than patience. Subhanallah. Here again, once again, the Prophet ﷺ saying a few words that we could apply throughout our life. You have a group of the Ansar, obviously, who were poor. They came to the Prophet ﷺ, asked him for some wealth. The Prophet ﷺ gave him whatever he had. This was his habit. Anyone asked him, he would give. This was the habit of the Prophet ﷺ. And the Sahaba, they knew this about him. And sometimes they would ask him for something specific on purpose because they wanted him to give them. Like for example, once the Prophet ﷺ got a beautiful piece of garment and he wore it. One Sahabi, he looked at it, he said, I love this, O Prophet of Allah, give it to me. All the Sahaba were like, they were like communicating through their eyes with him, like, what's wrong with you? You know if you ask, he will never say no. How dare you ask? He said, I asked on purpose because what touched his body, I want that to touch my body when I die. And subhanAllah, that was made his coffin. That was made his shroud. So yes, there were some exceptions where the Sahaba would ask, but more for a akhirah purpose. And others, because of whatever, they used to ask the Prophet ﷺ and he used to give them until he had nothing to give. So what do you want me to give? So 2 times they came and the Prophet ﷺ gave them. And look at what he gave them advice. And this, I want all of you to remember. I was giving advice to some of the shabab today. That your advice and your da'wah will become effective if you spend on the people. I want you guys all to think about your favorite uncle, aunt, brother, sister. He's always like the one who gives you $100 for Eid. He's always the one who takes you out for this. He's always the one who does this. And then when he says something to you, you take it. Isn't that right? Huh? Compared to someone who, even if he is 100% right, even if he's speaking the haqq, he's a bit stingy. When he tells you, do you think you're going to listen? 50-50. But that generous brother or uncle or aunt or whoever it is, you're going to listen 100% of the time. Does everyone have this experience? The person who's always spending on you, any advice you give later on, he's going to listen to you. This is very well known even in the diplomatic world. So they have this carrot and stick. You give them carrots and you carry a big stick. So here the Prophet ﷺ, one of the wisdoms that he uses in his da'wah is generosity, sadaqah, whatever you had, here, take it. And then people will be like, this is a man who doesn't fear poverty. So of course, if he tells me to give sadaqah, I'm going to listen to him. Because he himself is doing sadaqah on me. Yani your da'wah is going to become more effective with your generosity. This is the point I'm making. I want you to take that as a lesson. So then he gave to these people twice. Okay, he gave to them twice, and then what did he say to them? I want you to think about the effectiveness of his da'wah, but only after when he has given. He says to them, whatever wealth I have, I will not withhold it from you. Whoever wants to be modest and chaste, chaste or chaste? Huh? Chaste? Same. Chaste, chaste. Whoever wants to be that, Allah will keep him chaste. Meaning someone who wants to stay away from haram. He doesn't chase girls. He doesn't talk to them. He keeps himself away from haram. Allah is going to help him with that. But someone who's always, his eyes is here and there, his hands is here and there, his feet, he's going there, his mind, then you don't have the help of Allah. Always remember that a person who is chaste or chaste, if you are trying your best to stay away from haram, Allah will help you to be that. But if you're free, you're always free mixing, you're always intermingling and flirting, then of course, how can you put an ice cube in the sun, still expecting and making dua, oh Allah, please keep it cold? So how can you keep yourself out in the sun and your iman is melting and you're still thinking that your iman and your chastity is going to be intact? It doesn't make sense. Then the Prophet ﷺ says that whoever seeks to be self-sufficient, Allah is going to make him self-sufficient. What does that mean? That means anyone who refrains from asking the people, Allah is going to make him self-sufficient. I know people, personally, who, no matter what their financial condition is, they will never extend their hand for help. Meaning they will never ask for help. Never. And what happens is, yes, they suffer for 1, 2, 3, 5 years. After that, that person is self-sufficient. And I also know people that every single time they're asking and they're dependent upon others, and you look at them after 20 years, it's the same financial situation he has. The same financial situation. Be honorable. Be honorable. Yes, of course, there's some people who absolutely, khalas, they have once in a life, that's a different thing. But still, you want to be self-sufficient, Allah will make you self-sufficient. And if you don't, for the rest of your life, you're going to be dependent upon others until the resources are exhausted. And then the Prophet ﷺ said what? That whoever is patient, or whoever wants to be patient, Allah is going to make him be patient. So instead of wailing and crying and beating your chest, when every calamity happens, you ask Allah to give you and help you to be patient, then you will find that Allah is going to make you patient. But if a person really doesn't have it in him to be patient, how do you expect that patience to come? From where? And then the Prophet ﷺ, he says, Allah, that no one is granted a gift better than patience. Out of all of the wealth that Allah can give to anyone, the best one is patience. Out of all the wealth anyone can be given, the wealth of children, the wealth of good health, the wealth of beauty, the wealth of, name it, intellect, the wealth of knowledge. Out of all of these different wealth Allah has created, you know which one is the best one? Muaz? What's the best one? Patience. Why? Imagine you don't have wealth. What you going to do? Huh? You're going to have sabr. You don't have health. What you going to do? You're going to have patience. You have disability, you get deformed, wal-'iyadu billah, may Allah protect us all. What you going to do? You're going to have patience. Do you understand? Patience is the best wealth Allah can. Okay, all right, you don't have patience, but you have knowledge and you have wealth. And what happens when that goes away? Then you don't have the patience. What does patient mean? Who can define patience? Yes. I can't hear you, brother. The ability to wait. Patience are in three things. Patience when it comes to the obedience of Allah, patience against the disobedience of Allah, and patience over the qadr of Allah. Remember these three. We have patience over salah, fasting, hajj, giving zakah, being patient with our parents, respecting, honor, all of this. This is patience in the obedience of Allah. Meaning what? Salah, we have patience, we're constant, we're persevering. In hajj, you're doing patience. Okay? And patience against disobeying Allah. Allah says, don't do haram, don't lie. You have patience in that. You're so tempting, you want to lie. You're going to have patience, not lying. Name it, everything. Riba, you can't buy a house without riba nowadays. You're going to have patience until Allah opens a way and an avenue where you can do it. Without being involved in riba. And patience over the qadr of Allah. Whatever Allah has afflicted you with, put in your path, all of this, you will have patience in that. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, brothers? Patience, who can repeat? Patience in the obedience of Allah, patience against disobeying Allah, and patience in the qadr of Allah. Have these three, and then inshallah it will make it that much easier that, okay, you know what, I need to have patience in this. It's difficult seeking knowledge. You think knowledge is just all fun, 30 minutes a day and then khalas, no, knowledge, you have headache, you have a tummy ache, teacher doesn't show up, 100 different issues. You're going to have your parents call you, they miss you, your wife doesn't want to join you, 1,000 different things. You think So who are the successful ones? The one who's going to have patience in seeking the knowledge. Okay? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from amongst the sabireen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that istiqamah in His path. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to obey Him and to never disobey Him, and make us from amongst those who are obedient upon, who are patient upon His obedience, and patient upon against His disobedience, and patient upon whatever He has predestined for us. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.